Howdy. In this video, we're going to look at finding roots of a polynomial. Okay, so we have a rule or formula that tells us that if there are rational roots, they come from the factors of the constant divided by the factors of the leading coefficient. Okay, so I'm going to look at, if you think about what are the factors of 6, it's plus or minus 1, it's plus or minus 2, it's plus or minus 3, and it's plus or minus 6. And now I'm going to divide by plus or minus 1, which doesn't change anything. Let's pretend for a second. Say I had a different equation, y is equal to, say, 2x to some power, I don't know, the fifth, and then whatever. And our last value here is, well, 10. Okay, then my possible rational roots. I have plus or minus 1, I have plus or minus 2, I have plus or minus 5, I have plus or minus 10. And they're all getting divided by a plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. Okay, and so then I would expect you to write this out. So it's 1 divided by 1, it's 2 divided by 1, it's 5 divided by 1, it's 10 divided by 1, and then I can divide by 2. So then I have plus or minus 1/2. 2 over 2 is 1, and I've already written that down. And then I have plus or minus 5 over 2. And then 10 over 2 is 5, and I've already written that down. So those would be my possible rational. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 possible rational roots if this polynomial actually has rational roots. Okay, so back to the problem at hand. State all possible rational roots. I looked at the factors of 6 divided by the factors of 1. Okay, so then the next thing they asked me to do is to evaluate f of negative 2. And that gave me negative 2 cubed plus 2 times negative 2 squared minus 5 times negative 2 minus 6. That becomes a negative 8. This is a positive 4 times 2 is a positive 8. Plus 10 minus 6. So those are gone. I'm left with this is equal to 4. Now, if I plug in a positive 2 and get out a negative 4, what this is telling me is that that is not a 0. In order for it to be a 0, I'd need to have whatever my x value is, and then my y value has to be 0. Well, I plugged in that value, and I didn't get 0. So here's wherever my x, I don't really care, and its y value was 4. Okay, another thing that we can do, check this out really fast, is if I take that 1, 2, negative 5, negative 6, and I plug in that root, right, negative 5 times, that's a 10. This right here, doing synthetic division will give me the exact same value as if I had plugged it in. Okay, so now let's look at f of 2. Let's do the synthetic division way. Okay, so we're putting a 2 out here. So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, that's 8, that becomes a positive 3, that becomes a positive 6, and there's 0. So that tells us, okay, this was the second thing, f of positive 2 is equal to 0, yippee. And that tells us that it's a 0, that it's a root. And so then we can say, well, our function, f of x from up there at the top, this mess, is equal to, well, x minus 2 times x squared plus 4x plus 3. And then possibly we can factor this even farther. So that becomes x plus 3 times x plus 1. And then when they say find all the roots, okay, my roots are positive 2, negative 3, and negative 1. Okay, I'm going to do this next part in the next video, so go find it.